Hey there, Tube the Good Loot 73, making another episode of Knife Talk, and today I'll be talking about screw thickness on folders here. Now I have a few here, and some of the, a lot of complaints I hear on about some folders is, oh, the screws are not thick enough, it's not strong enough, and even like on the military, I've seen criticism on that as well. And you can see these screws aren't terribly large, but let's just compare it here with the Parrot 2. More than likely when a Military 2 is released, it'll probably use the same screws as the Parrot 2. And you can see that the Parrot 2 screws are larger. They're the body screw, the stop pin, and this standoff screw here. And in my opinion, really, I've never ever heard of a folder ever breaking because of the screws holding it together broke. I mean, I've never seen that, ever. Most failures in folders are locks, But then the Sebenza here, this one actually has pretty beefy screws, as you can see, compared to the military. And, I don't know what you'd consider, if it's build quality, perhaps, or whatnot, but really, like I said, I've never seen that happen. It's one of the things, like with frame lock cutout thickness, it's one of those things that I think people get too worked up over. And they say, oh, the knife is so bad because it's, 0.04 instead of 0.08, or something like that. And at the end of the day, they're both relatively thin. So you can see the Sebenza and the Parrot 2 have nicely large size screws. And the tilt here, also interestingly, I just noticed it has pretty small screws as well. So, now granted, these screw heads, it's not not the screw is the same diameter as the head, but same on these two. So, by comparing the heads of the screw, you're comparing them, in terms of the actual, threaded part too, because that's thinner on both, if that makes sense. So, really, another knife I have here, the Skyline, its screws are a hair narrower than the tilt. But the most thing I see on Kershaw's is that when you have a bigger knife like this, the screws aren't necessarily wider, they are longer. So on the Skyline, even the Blur is a good example. The Blur and the ZTO 350, both of those have roughly the same diameter screw, but the 0350 screw is about twice as long. So it's holding in, there's much more threads holding it in. And then I have a Cold Steel Voyager here, just to stack that up against the military. Roughly the same size, interestingly enough. And compare it to the Parrot 2. And we'll also compare it to the Sebenza. So interesting there. So it's funny in a sense, because people will say that the military has weak screws, but it looks to me like the screw size is the same as in the Voyager, and the Voyager is touted as a very, 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 very strong knife. So I don't think screw thickness has much to do with strength. Just one of those funny things. Roughly the same size. So I hope you guys found that interesting. And thanks for watching, thanks for the requests, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.